There's more than one route up the mountain, so which one do you choose? That's the question we'll answer today. Hi, I'm Jeff. Welcome to my channel, 14ers for Beginners, where an ordinary guy like me is wanting to help ordinary folks such as yourselves climb your first few 14ers. I hope this information is helpful. I hope it inspires you, helps you to accomplish the goal and to get from wherever you're at to the top of those first few 14ers. If this is helpful, hit like, hit subscribe. If you have questions, drop those in the comments below. I'll do my best to respond and help however I can, because after all, I'm just doing this to be a blessing to those of you who want to participate in this like I have. So you're kind of looking at mountain to climb. You've kind of chosen which mountain you think you want to tackle, and you go and you look, and there's multiple ways up the mountain. It's not uncommon, actually. Many 14ers have, let's say, a handful of routes. That wouldn't be surprising to find. So the question is then, which one? Which one is the one that you should choose? My default answer on that is you're going to probably want to choose the standard route. Usually on websites or books, that's delineated with a star or a highlighter. They just say this is the standard route. That's generally the route that is the easiest. It's the route that is kind of most suitable for the most people and the easiest to access. So that's going to be my default answer, is that that's probably the route you're going to want to take. But there may be some things you want to consider as you're asking yourself this question of which one. One of them is the roads. So some of these trailheads are really accessible. There's roads that go right to them. There's parking lots right there. There's bathrooms, whatever, right there at the trailhead. But there's some that aren't, that they are actually much more difficult to access. There may be a road up, but it isn't a very good road. There may be some that you can get so far on a road, but then you have a long hike to get to like an intersection of some kind where the trailhead starts, and you go from there. So you do want to consider what kind of vehicle you have, what kind of relation to different towns, where you might be staying, those sort of things, to decide which route is the best one for you. Some of the roads, even if some of the really popular ones like Grays and Torreys, the road going up there is just terrible. And so you do need to do a little research on the roads and make sure that you're choosing one that fits your situation. Another one, such as Mount Evans, last I knew, they were making you buy a permit that allotted you a certain time frame to go up that road. So if you didn't do that ahead of time, or if you did so late and you didn't get the time you wanted, it may really mess up your hike. So you're going to want to do some of that research ahead of time to know the road to the trailhead, and that may impact some of your choice. Another thing that may impact some of your choice is whether or not you're camping or staying in a hotel. Some areas allow camping, some don't. Some allow it in certain areas, but not others. And obviously some trailheads are closer to a hotel, a town, than others. And so you're just going to really want to look at that and sort of make that decision based on those factors. And maybe if you want to camp, the best trailhead doesn't have camping, and you may have to adjust your plan, or vice versa, however that may work. But those are just some things you're going to want to consider as you're looking at which one. One of the big factors you're going to want to consider is how difficult the trail is, that particular trail. And so again, I'd encourage you to go to those videos I have about the rating scales and those sort of things, and really do your research and make sure that you're choosing an appropriate trail for you. As a beginner, as I've said before, I would not recommend anything class 3 or higher. I would just stay with class 1 and class 2 trails. And so even if one fits the bill in these other ways, if it has a class 3 section or class 4 section, I would encourage you to avoid that trail at this point in time, at least. When you get to the trailhead itself, there's kind of a variety of things you're going to find depending on the trailhead. Again, some of them have these nice parking lots. Some don't have any parking lots at all, hardly, just little pull-off areas. Some may have a bathroom. Some don't have any bathrooms. Some you may have to have a permit to park there. Some you don't. You really just have to do your research. But when you get there, you do want to orient yourself to it. You want to orient yourself to where the trailhead is, all those kind of things, so that in the dark especially, you're starting off on a good foot and you're not confused and heading in the wrong direction or something like that. Almost all of the trailheads have a really nice signage system, usually 2 or 3 really big signs, and they can have some really helpful information on there. Sometimes they have a really big map of the area, sometimes they have a trail map. They might have a cross section so you can see kind of the slope or the vertical part of the trail. They may explain things like the leave no trace principles. They may talk about uniquenesses of that area, if there are specific laws or restrictions or rules in that area, maybe unique animals or a unique part of the scenery or animals or something like that. They'll talk about those things. There's usually some pretty good info on those maps, on those signs. So I'd encourage you to stop, read those a little bit, and just kind of help them be part of the experience of you being most comfortable with this and being confident. But generally speaking, I just encourage you to, the more research you do, the better. Your time from town to the trailhead, those sort of things, so that this part of your hike really starts off well. It doesn't leave you with a bad taste in your mouth because you took a wrong turn, or you got to the trailhead late and there was no parking and you couldn't hike today, or you had to go back down and add 3 miles to your hike or something like that. Just really do your research on the roads and the trailheads and help this be a really just helpful, informative time to launch into your hike well, and that this isn't a bad spot in your experience, so to speak. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful. Again, if you have questions, let me know. And as usual, I hope I get to see you at the top.